Coach, I know you always talk about pitchers setting the tone. Did you feel Mason did a good job of that, striking out the first two guys and then just getting that last strikeout in that first?
I wouldn't have known he punched out the first two guys unless you told me. Thought he executed pitches well. Um, Thought he commanded the fastball, change, and the breaking ball. I thought he was very sharp. And, he absolutely, gave the guys, it was fun to play behind those guys when they're pitching ahead in the count.
In terms of his performances this year, he had another 11 strikeout game against West Virginia. Were there anything similar that you kind of saw from him that kind of happened today? And I guess what allowed him to be so successful today?
Mason's got, he's got three really good pitches, and it starts with command. And he was ahead in the count, and the command allows him to, he's not a guy that's going out trying to do that. It just happens to happen sometimes.
Last one from me. In terms of Drew getting that leadoff homer, I know, as I mentioned before, Mason kind of set the tone, but what did Drew do by just getting that leadoff home run just to kind of maybe wake you all up, so to speak?
Oh, man, the guys were awake. Most of them were down there eating breakfast bright and early. But anytime you can get a leadoff guy on, much less a leadoff guy hits one out of the stadium, it definitely helps. And, he's been a fun guy to watch all year. And when he gets on base, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, we'll go to Eric.
Coach, in terms of Nate, where have you seen him? Does he look more comfortable over the past week or so in terms of, those couple good games in a row in terms of driving in runs?
He's been working really hard throughout the spring. He's to be commended for continuing to stay ready. And absolutely over probably the last 2 weeks, he's you can tell he's in a really good spot. And obviously when he's obviously can impact the game.
What's the difficulty for a guy who obviously he had such a good season right out of the gate last year in his first year, and then he kind of hits maybe the sophomore slump a little bit even in the second year? What's the difficulty in a guy getting past that?
Well, most of these guys have never struggled. And so the first time they have any type of struggle, you're dealing with what's between the ears as much as you are the physical part of it. And that probably started happening a little bit, maybe, really you're talking about a 20-game season last year, not a 60 or 70-game season. And again, he's in a good spot right now. That's really the main thing.
And then in terms of Eli, obviously he gave up that one double, but what do you like from him in terms of maybe limiting the damage a little bit coming in with bases loaded, no outs?
Better than alternative for sure. Thought the ball that Thomas hit in the inning was hit very hard. Thought McKenzie hit the ball very hard. Those are two really good hitters. And, to get those guys out, the ball doesn't need to be in the middle of the plate. And, but he did throw the ball over the plate. I know he'd like to be sharper, though.
All right, we only have time for a few more, so we can get Coach back to the bus. We'll go to Phil.
Tim, what does it say about the depth of this lineup to have your Big 12 Player of the Year go 0 for 5 and still be able to put up 11 runs?
Well, there's different kind of 0 for 5s. And when Jace goes 0 for 5, you're still getting quality at bats every time he goes up there, and you're still getting presence in the lineup. He's still making them execute pitches. And there's always been 9/10 of a baseball lineup. He's one part of it. And he'll be the first to tell you that what you mentioned, Big 12 Player of the Year deal was, it was a result of guys playing good around him as much as him, hitting pitches when he gets them. That's the way baseball works. Guys got to go have good at bats and set it up for the guy behind them.
And we'll go to Ronald.
Coach, we've seen these type of games sort of go both ways for you guys this year, where you guys start off really fast and then the team, starts to manage to get some runs in later in the game. What was the key to, really putting this one away today?
Today, the margin for error on the back end of the game was huge, and offense going out and putting some runs up, and obviously playing good defense. That margin for error for the bullpen needed to be there today for the guys we ran out there, and that was absolutely the key.
All right, we have time for maybe one more. If anyone has anything else. Okay, we'll go back to Eric for one last question.
And for you, it's probably a question you get a lot year after year, but in terms of, do you have a guy picked out for the next game, or is it kind of just play it by ear and kind of wait till maybe later in the night to figure that out?
Hacks asked that earlier. We're going to do everything we can to keep these guys on normal rest. And so you're talking about tomorrow will be Montverde's day. And then Micah would be on Friday or Saturday. And then obviously Hampton. We haven't specifically said that, but that's kind of the plan. And no different than every one of these guys. Our first priority is always going to be to put them in a good position to have success and to take care of their arms, no matter what happens in the game. And that's why you get Mason out there at 88 pitches. Don't put too big a load on him.